Yes, welcome to the Jamaica Young Police channel. To our loyal viewers, subscribers and Patreon member. At the channel, we are a group of law-abiding citizens who believe in the rule of law and respect the rights of every citizen, but not the ones who do not subscribe to such behavior. We do believe in and support preemptive strikes because they save lives. This is a logical conclusion because preemptive strikes save lives and prevent the further loss of lives. We are all about saving lives at this channel. We at the channel aid criminals with a passion and do not want them over here. We do not want your views, your subscriptions, your likes or your comments. Please go elsewhere where the red carpet is waiting for you. Over here, we want you to go to prison or the departure lounge at Madden. Moving on to today's video. Yes, those of you who know that man, you're looking at right now on your LCD. Yeah, man, his name is Jerome Cunningham. Them call him Rome, or Jerome. Yeah, man, he's a known Dan from Mapen, Clarendon, and he has ties to the Clarendon Police Division, big time. He was in tussle, or I should say war, with a police officer by the name of that policeman was killed over a decade ago. They call him Muggle Dog, Fidel Beckford. And Fidel Beckford, he was a criminal in uniform. But breaking news, yeah man, Jerome Cunningham has been identified as one of the two men killed in Friday night's deadly shooting in Hyde Park area of Los Angeles. According to Los Angeles Police Department, the shooting occurred around 7:45 p.m. near 59th Street and Crenshaw Boulevard. Investigators say several gunmen approached three men and opened gunfire before fleeing in a vehicle. Two men lost their lives, including Jerome Cunningham, while a third victim was hospitalized. At the time, the police have not disclosed a motive identifying the suspect or announced any arrest. Today we examine the facts surrounding this tragic incident, the questions investigators are trying to answer, and what this latest act of violence means for the community. So our thoughts are with the families and loved ones of all the victims during the difficult time. I have always said that a life built on dishonesty, violence and criminality often comes with consequences. But no matter what a person's past may have been, every loss of life is tragedy. It's a tragedy for someone's family. The lesson here is not to celebrate death. The lesson is to understand that the choices people make can have serious consequences, and communities pay a heavy price when violence becomes a way of life. Young people should understand this. There is nothing glamorous about funerals, prison, or grieving families. The better path is still honesty, hard work, and staying on the right side of the law. As this investigation continues, the focus should remain on the facts, justice for the victims, and allowing law enforcement to determine who is responsible. Two men are dead, one is recovering, and many questions remain unanswered. Who pulled the trigger and why? Those are the answers. Yes, those are the answers that investigators and the families are seeking at this time. As we said before and we say again, we're not here, celebrating the demise of these men. As we say, two lives have been lost. I have always said that in my life, yes, in my life, I have never met an honest criminal or an honest liar. One of the most common traits often associated with a criminal mindset is dishonesty, deception, and untruthfulness. Yeah, even our police officers in the police force, that's how them operate. A life built on lies, intimidation, and wrongdoing eventually catches up with people. History has shown us repeatedly that many who choose the path of crime end up paying a terrible price. Some lose their freedom and spend years behind bars. Others lose their families, their reputation, and in many cases, they lose their lives. The death of Jerome Cunningham is another reminder of a harsh reality. No one is untouchable, and no one is above the consequences that often accompany a life of crime. Some people believe they are special, that the rules do not apply to them, or they can continue down a dangerous road forever without consequences. But life has a way of proving otherwise. People don't watch statistics and see what happened to people who are involved in criminality. It always ends either in death or prison. This is why I always tell young people, do not envy those involved in criminal activities. Do not grudge them for the money, the lifestyle, the flashy image, or the temporary power they may appear to have. Many of those stories do not end in happiness, old age, or peace. Too often, they end in prison, in mourning, or in the departure lounge. Honesty is the best policy. Hard work is still the better path. Living within the law may not make you rich overnight, but it gives you something far more valuable. Peace of mind, freedom, an opportunity to build a future. Sometimes never try to educate a fool because the fool will eat you. The lesson here is not to celebrate anyone's death. The lesson is to understand that choices have consequences. A life of crime is often a short road with a painful ending. As I have always says, there are two roads in life. One leads to opportunity and purpose, and the other often leads to destruction. The choice belongs to each individual. So that's why we have to choose what we do. Personal responsibility, consequences, and lessons learned. But people still not learning because they're still doing the same thing and expect a different result. And we have seen it over and over and over again. When you choose a life of crime, this is the end result. You're going to end up dead, straight to the departure lounge, or end up in prison. But people always believe that the rules don't apply to them. That's the only outcome. So imagine sitting outside on a warm Friday evening in Los Angeles. The sun has gone down. People are talking, laughing, and trying to enjoy one another's summer night. Then suddenly, bang, 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 bang. Gunfire erupts. People start running for their lives. Within seconds, 3 men are lying on the ground bleeding. Seconds, not minutes, seconds. 2 of them will never make it home again. 1 man fight for his life in a hospital bed. That man is in the United States of America. Illegal immigrant. So he has returned to America after being deported. That's how these people operate. And every time when they come to America, they come to commit crimes and more crimes. And the people responsible, gone. Vanish in the night. Tonight we ask the difficult questions. Who were the gunmen? Who were these gunmen? Was this a targeted hit? Was it gang related? Or was it another senseless act of violence destroying another community? Or was it a drug deal gone bad? Or was it something more nefarious? Most importantly, when does this cycle end? Because every time bullets fly, families are destroyed. Children lose fathers, mothers lose sons, communities lose hope. Stay with me until the very end, because this story is not just about another shooting in Los Angeles. And please, just type and tell me where you're watching this video from, and share it with your friend, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your wife, or your husband, neighbor, co-worker, and tell them to tell a friend about the Jamaica Young Police channel. Please share the video, because the video is not reaching our audience due to one and two little things. I'll do another video after this to update you guys, because most of the videos that have been released in since of late, you're not hearing my voice. I am not an American. I am a Jamaican by birth. I am a pro-Jamaican. I would never change it for anything else, because Jamaica shaped me into the man I am. I am not an American. I was not born in America. I don't speak fluent American accent. My Jamaican accent is so rife that I can't do anything to hide it. So I am proud of who I am. This story is about the valley of life, the pain left behind, and the choices that determine whether our communities become places of opportunity or places where another family is preparing a funeral. Let's talk. Ladies and gentlemen, by now the crime scene tape has been put up. The detectives have arrived. The evidence markers on the ground. The coroner has taken away the bodies, and they have counted almost 100 spent shells. But knowing how the police, how they investigate things in America, they'll be able to catch the perpetrator them with cameras. They have all kind of technology, plus forensic, and I'm not going to elaborate how, but they will. I have two friends that works with LAPD that I serve with in the military. Talk to them. Both of them, they are Spanish. When I say Spanish, they are Hispanics. They are from California. And they are part of LAPD. They're working with LAPD now like 15 years. Senior police officers now. So I'll ask them what really happened. So that would be coming up in the part 2. So the television cameras have shown the flashing lights, and tomorrow, for many people, this will simply become another headline. But not for the families. For them, life has changed forever. Somewhere tonight, a mother cannot sleep, a wife. Why? Somewhere tonight, children are waiting for a father who will never walk through the door again. That's a real tragedy of violence. A man reap what he sows. If you are in the business of killing other people, involved in drug dealing, being dishonest, ripping off people, eventually your own doings will catch up with you. The sound of gunfire changes everything. If you ever live in a rough neighborhood, you know the sound of gunshots. Yeah, you have gunfire. Ask me, born and raised in the belly of the beast. I heard it so many times, countless. You even see people die. I remember as a little boy, I see a man, came through my yard, you see a man, bad man, die with his gun in his hand. And the people that shoot him, because his eyes were open, they were so afraid of this man that nobody would even, try to go close to him to take the gun. You know the difference between gunfire and fireworks when you live in these communities. You hear those shots and your heart immediately start racing. So if you take cover, you normally go flat. That's if you live in a house where gunshot can't come through, or you will go through the door. So or you put yourself in a certain section of the house where that if the gunshot come in, ricochet and catch you. You understand? you begin wondering, who got it? Who was outside? Was it someone I know? Did my child make it home? This is the reality too many communities face. People are not living. When you're living in these communities, you're not living, you're surviving. That's how it is. When you're living in these communities where violence is a part of it. Too many are dead. One man is injured. But the number of victims is much higher. Every victim has parents, brothers, sisters, friends, co-workers, children. One bullet can destroy an entire family tree. Violence never kills one person. It destroys generations. Think about the neighborhood tonight. Police tape, news helicopters. I saw them do it in Los Angeles, you know. Assuming because I used to station in California as someone in the military. California, trust me, in LA, you have some real crab up place. You can see it. Trust me. I'll even near to where the arena is, and you say, wow. You understand? People standing outside crying. As in this case, you don't know, you know. Children peeking through windows. Another community asking, when will this stop? The answer is difficult because violence often creates more violence. One murder leads to retaliation. Retaliation leads to revenge. Revenge leads to funerals. Funerals leads to more hunger. And the cycle continues. No, we're not going to tell you or make any we're not going to divulge anything about the killers as yet. The cost of street life, some people glamorize violence. Movies do it. Music sometimes does it. Social media certainly does it. But there is nothing glamorous about funerals. So, based on the background of Jerome Cunningham, Rome, you know that there gonna be a glamorous funeral for him, big funeral, thousands of people, because he's a godfather down there for the people in Maypen, Western Park and all these communities. But this time he might have more than he can chew. Nothing glamorous about wife, mothers, children crying. Nothing glamorous about prison. Only in Jamaica. In Jamaica, when you go to prison, you are somebody. If you have never been to prison or jail, people have no respect for you. That's the low IQ people, you know. That's the people who have no ambition. Who believe that going to jail or prison is something. It's prestigious. It's a badge of honor. I don't want to go to jail or prison, but this is the reality of living in Jamaica. So a man, when you hear, if you are in Jamaica and a man say, boy, I'm just coming up. It's not foreign him come from, he's coming from jail or prison. And they'll keep party for him. But you coming from school, just graduate from university or something like that, anything that's up, a loser, man, a fool. That's the culture of Jamaica. So like for Jerome now, yes, Jerome is big thing. So they're going to have celebration maybe for a month. Nothing glamorous about the departure lounge. The street make promises they cannot keep. Now investigators have a difficult task ahead. They need witnesses, surveillance footage, physical evidence, cooperation from the community. But many times people are afraid. This is California. They are not Spanish, or they are not from the community where the murder committed. If you're in these so-called wood in America, if you do not have family members that witnesses, people mind their own business, just like same thing in Jamaica. Because everything in America is what's in it for me. People don't just witness crime and just run to the police and say that. You understand? Very rare that happen. And some people will do that. People who know that they have a responsibility as a citizen to cooperate with the police, especially in a case like this. And the reason why some people don't want to cooperate, because the next thing the police start to question them as if they're involved in drug dealing too or criminality. So people have various reasons. But as for me, I'm a big informer, so if I witness a crime, I'm going to report it to the police. You understand? That's me that. Because I am not afraid. How many times can I kill you? One. So some people, they fear retaliation. They fear becoming targets when they witness crime. And when witnesses remain silent, killers remain free. That's me, because the kind of person I am, the training that I had received. Yeah, I am going to tell the police what I have seen. You can count on that. Bet your life if I witness a crime. Why solving murders matter? Every unsolved murder sends a dangerous message. It tells criminals, you can get away with it. No, I don't believe in that. If you kill someone you must pay for your crimes. I believe in accountability. And not only accountability, I do believe that if you take a life, yet your life must be taken too. The only person, the security force is there to protect the populace from vicious murderers. So when the police come for them, the men who killed Jerome Cunningham and the other man, Nankopal, how we wanted name, and the others. Nankopal is the one who come from Nago's head. But he's not dead. He's the one that received a shot to one of his foot. And the reason why we believe accountability matters, because without justice, communities lose faith. So if as I said before, if I witness a crime, I would be the first guy to tell the police. Yes. Too often we reduce victims to statistics. 2 dead, 1 injured. But these were human beings. They had dreams. They had families. They had stories. No, those stories had been cut short. A message to young people. To the young people listening tonight, prison is real. The departure lounge is real. It's not a fairy tale thing or a figment of people's imagination. Death is real. Funerals are real. Mothers, wives, children crying are real. The cemetery is full of people who believe they had plenty of time left. Don't throw away your future. You only have one life. Live it the best way you can. When you're a criminal, they think at all times how to deceive others and get away with it. What kind of society do we want? That's a bigger question here. Do we want communities ruled by fear? Or communities where children can play outside safely? Where parents don't have to worry every time they hear sirens, the answer starts with each one of us. There's a lesson from every crime scene. Every crime scene teaches us something. It reminds us that life is fragile. Sometimes you go on a crime scene and you see some people and you say, wow, I can't believe them kill him. We just seen him a few minutes ago. It reminds us that anger can destroy everything. It reminds us that one decision can ruin many lives. I cannot imagine the phone calls that were made last night. Because you know that Jerome lives in New York and he was in California. That's across the other side of America, or that's the west side of America. The Pacific over here, over there in New York, that's the east side, or east coast. Over there says the west coast. I cannot imagine the phone calls that were made. there has been a shooting. I am sorry, but your husband, your father, is dead. Those are words no family ever want to hear, but that's the truth. The survivors, and let us not forget the man who survived. Physical wounds may heal, but emotional scars can remain forever. Why this man is going to be, because this man is a deportee. Is the feds going to put him up now as a witness if he can identify the killers? What happened, before the shooting? He's the only one that's alive that can tell the story. Or is it that in a criminal world, man a bad man, this come with the territory. Informer for dead, snitch to dead, man no inform. So his two friends are killed. He survived, he take his, hold up him gunshot, and that's it. Because man no informer, man no snitch. Now I go send the people in my prison to kill him friend them. Him friend them dead, part of the game, part of the culture. That's how the modus operandi of criminals, how them operate. And let's just not forget the man who survived. As we say, physical wounds may heal, but emotional scars can remain forever. Survivors often relive these moments for years. The man are criminal, so they're used to them kind of life. So where do we go from here? The community want answers. The police want answers. The family wants answers. And justice demands answers. Because every victim deserves that. Tonight, 2 families are planning funerals instead of family dinners. 2 empty chairs will remain at someone's table. 2 voices have been silenced forever. That is the true cause of violence. If you know something, say something. If you have children, guide them. If you have influence, use it wisely. And if you still have breath in your body tonight, remember this, life is precious. One bad decision can change everything. Choose life over violence. Choose honesty over dishonesty. Choose peace over pain. Because once the trigger is pulled, there are no rewind buttons. And when that bullet hit, there's no name on it. And it hit vital organs straight to the departure lounge. No refund, no reschedule, no delay. That's the trip. Ticket book, life deposit, you're not getting it back. Choose your life. Some people feel that they can outsmart the others. At least Jerome lived to be 60. So far, the only criminals are people involved in crime that have lived longest than Jerome. Roy Foley was 69. You have George Funk still alive. Yes, you have my cousin. And you have other men like Little 13. You have the short man, Indian. You understand? Like when I call him name. You understand what I'm saying? I say I call him name and make people them in a PMP LGBTQ plus criminal organization. You understand what I'm saying? Still there. So the question is, who killed Mapen than Jerome? Who killed him? So have yourself a beautiful day. Jamaica, Young Police Channel.